What's going on, guys? Jacob Billingsley, Build the Base podcast. Another episode today. This one is something that we've gotten requested recently in the gym, both with our high school and our college athletes. So the baseball players are traveling a lot right now. So a lot of them are going on multi-day trips where they're having to stay at a hotel overnight. And we've gotten a few questions from our high school athletes asking about ways that they can still get their strength training in while they're away. So what we tell them is that if you're going to be gone less than 3 days away from the gym, don't worry about it. Just play, have fun, enjoy the game, enjoy playing. But if it's going to be more than 3 days in a row without being able to get into the weight room, then we need to get something. We need to get a lift in. And same situation for our college athletes. Obviously, they're on the road pretty much every weekend playing. Some of them have college strength and conditioning coaches that can help them with this. Some of them do not. We've been getting told a few times they don't have access to a gym. It's just a hotel weight room and that they don't really know what to do because there's not a lot of weights or a lot of equipment in the hotel weight room. After having several of these conversations, we've started putting together just quick little plans just to kind of educate these guys on what is it that they need to do, what are some options, what are the focus need to be. Being in the hotel weight room typically means that you're playing. So you're probably not going to be in a hotel multiple nights in a row if you're not currently playing. So when you're on the road, obviously the games are the priority. You need to be prepared and ready for the games. But if we're on the road for a while, we need to get a hotel lift in. Here are some options. Some things to keep in mind originally is that something is better than nothing. Being able to hit something leads to a little bit of power work, a little bit of speed work, some mobility, some injury reduction, and corrective exercise type lifts are going to be better than doing nothing at all. So just because you don't have access to a weight room with racks and a lot of weight is not a reason to not get something in. Second thing that I want to just remind everyone is that strength, maximum strength, will hang around a lot longer than maximum power or speed will. So the NSCA, which is the National Strength and Conditioning Association guidelines, says that maximum strength will hang around for around 30 days without touching it. If you do a max strength workout on April 1st, 30 days later, according to the NSCA, you should be around the same maximum strength, and it's going to begin to diminish those maximum strength qualities at that point. Obviously, if we wait that long to hit max strength, you're going to be sore. So we don't want to do that. But just from how long does that quality hang around? It's going to hang around a lot longer than. So if you have to miss a maximum strength day because your hotel gym does not have a lot of weight, it's not that big a deal. You're going to maintain the strength. But again, something is better than nothing here. On the flip side of that, power and speed qualities begin to diminish around that 5 to 7 day mark. So if we're going to be gone for several days in a row without doing maximum power work, that is something that we want to make sure that we prioritize in these quick hotel lifts if we're going to get a lift in. You're probably going to be getting speed work at the field. Obviously, you're going to be getting some max rotation if you're a pitcher or hitter. But from a vertical jump standpoint, some frontal plane power, lower body standpoints. Those are some things that we can mix in these hotel lifts or in your warm up before the game. That way you're continuing to hit these qualities between your time of being in the gym at base or at your school and when you get back from the road trip. So the big couple things that I want to make sure that we get across is in these hotel lifts, they don't need to be long. We just need enough for the body to feel better, to feel recovered, to feel fast where we're doing some power work and we're preparing for the next day. And then we're kicking the heavy strength work down the road until we can get back in our gym. That max power work is going to be more important than hitting max strength work in a couple-day weekend trip. So getting into it, most hotel gyms are going to have dumbbells between 5 and 50 pounds. Of course, there's going to be outliers. Some are going to have heavier. Some are not going to have all of those dumbbells. But for the most part, most hotels are going to have dumbbells between 5 and 50 pounds. They're going to have a couple of benches, and they're probably going to have a cable machine. There's probably not a lot more that's going to be in most hotel gyms. If you have more, obviously that's great. We can do more with that. But even if you're just in a normal gym that has 5 to 50 dumbbells, a weight bench, a cable machine, maybe an elliptical or a treadmill, you can get a lot done with that. And here is exactly how I would structure that, assuming that this is just a couple day trip. Maybe it's during spring break, maybe it's a trip during the summer, and you just need to get 1 to 2 lifts in throughout a few day period in the hotel weight room, assuming that you're still getting your speed work at the field, you're still getting your mobility work pre-game, pre-practice, pre-warm-up at the field. So with the dumbbells specifically, in my first training block, after you go through a quick warm-up, we're going to go into our power work first, the same way you would if you were at base, where we're going to go into dumbbell weighted jumps. 3 sets of 3, 3 sets of 5. Either one of those is going to be fine. 3 to 5 reps, max effort, weighted jumps, anywhere from 15 to 40 pounds in each hand is going to be fine here. Go max effort. You're getting between 9 and 15 reps of this. Max effort every time. That's going to help us with our vertical jump and lower body power output. Paired with that, I'm going to do some sort of core exercise, typically like a cable lift or cable chop, where you're working on cross-sectional patterns. You're working on some anti-rotation work. That's going to be good for continuing to strengthen the core and resisting rotation. Cable chop, cable lift is going to be a good option there in the weight room if they have a cable machine. Something I'm going to pair with that in my first block, what we call our A block, is going to be another mobility or corrective exercise. That could look like a T-spine rotation, an ankle mobility drill, a hip mobility drill. A couple examples that we might use using the equipment in this hotel gym is modified pigeon stretch with T-spine rotations on the bench. That's where you put the bench on an incline. You put one of your knees and feet on the bench. You're doing a pigeon stretch. You're rotating, getting a little bit of cervical rotation, thoracic rotation, and you're getting hip internal rotation, and then a good stretch through the outside part of that hip. That's going to help with hip mobility as well as thoracic and cervical spine mobility. So in that A block, we're going to go weighted jumps, 3 sets of 3 to 5 reps. We're going to go a cable chop or lift. Then we're going to go some sort of mobility exercise of your choice, depending on what feels tight, depending on what you want to work on. Same thing, 3 sets of 6 to 8 each side, as long as you're breathing, taking your time to actually get a good quality mobility session in there. The B block, we're going to go down and get a little bit of strength work here. Assuming they have 5 to 50 dumbbells, you can go split squat variation. This can be a dumbbell goblet split squat, or if you need a little bit heavier than that, you can go low grip split squat, where you're holding the 50-pound dumbbell in each hand. Obviously, that's going to get 100 pounds of total external resistance in addition to your body weight. Getting 6 to 8 reps per leg there as well. Slow and controlled. Again, something is better than nothing. Being able to do this is going to help maintain a little bit of strength and keep you from being extremely sore the next time you get in the weight room. Paired with that, I'm going to do an upper body exercise. So you can go split stance cable row, 3 sets of 8, or you can go a chest supported dumbbell row, where you put the bench on an incline position. You're laying on the bench or you're rowing the dumbbells back towards you. 6 to 8 reps there, as heavy as you can go. 50 pounds is not heavy enough. You might want to use the cable machine for a cable row instead. So that's our B block. You're going a knee dominant exercise with the split squat. You're going an upper body row variation with the cable or the chest supported dumbbell row. And then on our C block, which is going to be our last block here, we're going to do a hip exercise. So 1 leg dumbbell RDL. If you need 50 pounds or less, you would do 1 hand. If you need heavier than 50 pounds, obviously you can hold multiple dumbbells, so 1 in each hand. You can get up to 100 pounds of external resistance. Going 6 to 8 reps there. You're mainly working on that stability. You're working on controlling the movement of this. We're going to pair that with an upper body horizontal pressing variation. So this could be just a straight up dumbbell bench press. If 50 pounds is too light, this could be some sort of push-up variation. So you could go feet elevated push-up, where your feet are elevated on the bench, your hands are on the ground, so you're pushing more body weight onto your upper body with your feet elevated on the bench. Same rep range, 6 to 8 there. Or if that's too difficult, you can just go a normal push-up variation. You can go a yoga push-up variation. You can go a push-up with alternating toe touch, just to challenge the shoulder stabilizers a little bit more. Those are 3 really good options: dumbbell bench press, some sort of push-up variation, or feet elevated push-up variation for those of you that need a little bit more progressive lift. Paired with that, you're going to have 3 exercises in the C block. Is going to be another mobility, core, corrective, or arm care exercise. So this depends on what it is that you need. If you need more mobility work, we need to pick mobility. So if your lats are tight or sore because you pitched yesterday and your lats are really tight, we need to pick a lat mobility and lengthening exercise, like a lean away lateral line stretch or just a straight up lat stretch and rack. If you need a core exercise, we've already done an anti-rotation exercise. So we might do something like an anti-lateral flexion, which would be a side bridge or a feet elevated side bridge where you're putting your feet on top of the bench, your elbows on the ground, you're doing a side bridge that way. Those are both really good options for hotel lifts. Another one, if you're looking for an anti-extension or anti-rotation exercise for the core, could be bear position dumbbell pull through, where you're in a bear position on the ground with your hands and feet on the ground. Knees would just be slightly off the ground. You're going to reach under one arm, pull the dumbbell across, and then reach again, opposite, pulling the dumbbell across. That's going to help with anti-rotation core strength, as well as anti-extension of the lumbar, of the low back core strength. That's a good exercise option there. If you're looking for like a shoulder arm care exercise, we could go a cable external rotation, where you're standing, you have a rolled up sweatshirt, something underneath your elbow and your rib cage that you're pinning between your elbow and ribs just to keep the elbow slightly off your side. And you're doing super light cable external rotations. 5 pounds, 7.5 pounds, probably at the most at these. More so, again, looking for posterior cuff strength, you're working on the back of the shoulder. Those are all really good options. These can vary depending on what you need, but if you need some mobility, pick a mobility exercise. If you want an additional core exercise, those are some good options. Or if you want an arm care option, the cable external rotation is a good option. So quick recap, our A block is going to be weighted jumps, cable chopper lift, and then a mobility exercise. 3 rounds, 6 to 8 reps apiece. We're focused on quality of movement. The B block is going to be a split squat paired with a row. So dumbbell goblet split squat or dumbbell low grip split squat, where you're holding one dumbbell in each hand if you need to go heavier. Cable row, if you need to go heavy. Chest supported dumbbell row, if you need 50 pounds or lighter for the row. Again, 3 sets of 6 to 8 reps. Then the C block is going to be a hip exercise, a push exercise, and then a mobility, core, corrective, or arm care. So that hip is the 1 leg dumbbell RDL, 3 sets of 6 to 8 reps, 1 dumbbell if you need 50 pounds or less, 2 dumbbells if you need more than 50 pounds. Dumbbell bench press if you need 50 pounds or less. If you need more than that, you need to go feet elevated push-up. That would be a good option for a horizontal press that's going to make it pretty challenging. Mobility, core, corrective, or arm care on that very last C3 exercise, depending on what you need. Just gave you guys a couple of options there. The main thing I want to get across, these hotel lifts need to be quick. They need to be 30 to 45 minutes. You need to feel better leaving than you did when you came in. They need to be a restoration type lift where you're feeling good, but you're preparing your body for the next game. And then the last thing is just remember, it's just to keep you from going more than 3 days in a row without being in the weight room. Something is better than nothing here. So move fast on the jumps, get some good quality movement, try to feel better when you leave than when you came in, and just be consistent. Your warm-ups is a great time to add more power work. So you can do some broad jumps, you can do some sprint work. That's your power speed. If you're swinging a bat, you can get your rotational velocity in there instead of med balls. That's perfect. Swing the bat both ways. Those are all some really good things that you can do. Have a good warm up, focus on the movement quality, get in and out in the weight room, doesn't need to last long. And that's going to help set you up for a good hotel lift. These are some really good options. Until I talk to you guys on the next podcast, have a great day.